We'll start with the first habit, which is running. And the goal is running 3 times a week following a particular schedule. For 3 days this week, schedule 10 minutes in which you run for 5 minutes only. So prep, then run, and then afterwards. Write down how you can make this running session as enjoyable as possible. For instance, listening to your favorite audiobook, podcast, or music. Maybe you can run together with a friend. Be clear on exactly when, which are the scheduled times, and where you will run. Then briefly visualize the whole process, around 10 seconds. And lastly, put a reminder in your calendar. After 1 or 2 weeks, when you feel like the habit is established, increase the running time gradually by 10 minutes, all the way to your desired goal. If you miss a workout, just continue with the plan as nothing has happened. The second habit is push-ups, and the goal is 20 push-ups every day. Make the initial target 1 push-up per day. Write down how you can make this push-up session as enjoyable as possible. For instance, listening to your favorite audiobook, podcast, or music. Be clear on exactly when and where you go to do the push-up. Briefly visualize the process, around 10 seconds. Put a reminder in your calendar. When you feel like you will never miss that 1 push-up per day, increase gradually at your own pace. If you miss a workout, just continue with the plan as nothing has happened. The third habit is reading, and the goal is reading 20 minutes every day. First, you make the initial target of 5 minutes a day. Gather your most favorite books, articles that you cannot wait to read. They are so interesting and entertaining for you. Then be clear on exactly when and where you're going to read. Briefly visualize the whole process, 10 seconds. And lastly, put a reminder in your calendar or some other system. When you feel like 5 minutes is a piece of cake and even too little time, increase gradually. If you miss a reading session, just continue with the plan as nothing has happened. The fourth habit is journaling, and your goal is 10 minutes every day. First, you make the initial target of 2 minutes a day. Write down how you can make this journaling session as enjoyable as possible. Maybe turn on some relaxing music or grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you prefer. Then be clear on exactly when, where, and how you will journal. Briefly visualize the whole process, around 10 seconds. And lastly, put a reminder in your calendar. When you hit this 2 minutes a day consistently, increase gradually to 10 minutes. If you miss a day of journaling, just continue with the plan as nothing has happened. Social life is fifth habit. The goal is calling or seeing friends twice a week in order to accumulate a social network that you're proud of. So first, you make the initial target of once per week. Then start with contacting your closest and best friends, the one and ones you look most forward to talking to. Be clear on exactly when you will schedule the call and meeting with them. Fourth, briefly visualize the whole process. And lastly, put a reminder in your calendar when you're going to message with a particular friend that you want to converse with. When you've done this consistently, increase gradually. If one week was particularly busy, just continue with the plan like nothing happened. The sixth one is flossing, and the goal is floss every evening. Pair this activity with something you already do. Put the floss close to this activity, and then briefly visualize the whole process. If you miss a day, just continue with the plan as nothing has happened. And lastly, sleeping. Goal: sleep at 10 p.m. each night, unless social evenings. 1. Make the initial target of going to bed 15 minutes earlier than what you currently do. Then be clear on exactly how you will do it. For instance, shifting your current bedtime routine by 15 minutes and how you will accommodate it. Then briefly visualize the whole process. And lastly, schedule the bedtime and the preceding events. If one night was particularly late, just continue with the plan as nothing has happened. And these were the 7 popular habits. Thank you very much for your attention.